Welcome everyone to our next session of the ASO Zone. Very happy to have Igor here with us from the ASO Agency of the Year, Yodel Mobile. They received that last week at the Outgrowth Awards. I'm sure he had a big part in that. Please give him a big hand and welcome him to the APS Berlin virtual stage. Over to you, Igor.
Thanks. Hey everyone. So my name is Igor and I'm the ASO lead at Yodel Mobile, the ASO Agency of the Year. And today we are going to talk about how to make impact with your ASO and how we at Yodel revolutionized our ASO towards very impact-focused approach. So I will start walking through the presentation and we will have some time for questions in the end. So feel free to ask at that point. So a bit about Yodel Mobile. First about me. So I'm Igor, more than 5 years of ASO experience. I started as a mobile developer, so I know every part of the funnel until the end. And I feel like this gives me a great advantage. Overall, more than 400 apps in the portfolio, all the niches, all the categories, all the different apps that you can imagine, worked with most of them, if not all. And ASO lead at Yodel Mobile, the ASO Agency of the Year. So that's really great. About Yodel, so overall, more than 100 years of combined app marketing experience, more than 500 apps launched globally. We won the Growth Team of the Year last year and ASO Agency of the Year last week. Also, we won the Drum Mobile Awards as Mobile Agency of the Year. And as you can see, very awarded agency. We know our stuff in all the departments. So what we really love to do with our clients is to give them the overview and more of a holistic view and approach towards their ASO strategy and their marketing. So we are using all the available tools that the market has to offer, and we are looking for the best insights from those tools that we can help our client to get the results that we are looking for. And just combining everything from the marketing, product, commercial world to get the best results to our client and give them the growth that they're looking for. So in our clients, you can find huge brands like The Economist, NBC, Channel 4 in UK, if somebody familiar. Cool, very nice apps for travel like Atlas Obscura and many more. So most of the type of apps that there are in the market, we work with them. So we have great experience, and this is also one of the main advantages because we've just seen so many patterns, and when you're looking for hundreds of different patterns, you're already starting to recognize some of them and you know exactly what's going to happen and what needs to be done. So this is as well one of our advantages at Yodel. So let's start with the fun part. So what we will be covering today. So first, how to get an immediate impact from your ASO. So how you can start today and get results as soon as possible. ASO growth loop, something that we developed at Yodel, how you can build your own ASO growth loop, how you can apply to your projects, your apps or games or your client apps. And what's new in iOS 15, what you can be using there for your ASO, how you can continue and gaining advantage of your competition. So some context, as we know that every year there is more and more mobile devices, so the user base is growing rapidly. The time spent on the app is increased. From different studies, we know that the average user opens the mobile device more than 30 times per day. And there are studies that suggest the number is much higher, so in the hundreds times per day. And the spend, so users are more and more willing to spend money in the apps. We are seeing it in all of the different categories and niches. Users are paying for games, for utility apps. And there is also a forecast that utility apps actually are gonna outperform the games in the revenue in the upcoming 5 years. So it's a very interesting prospect. And one of the main things that can be overlooked is the organic search traffic. So we know that there is a huge volume for branded search terms, such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the big brands. But there is more than 50% of the App Store traffic that is coming from generic keywords that doesn't belong to median point, and we will focus on this KPI and put all of our effort into this KPI. The logic here is simple. If something performing worse than the median, it's much easier to get it to the median rate, especially if you believe in your product, if you know that you have a good product and that offers a real value to the users. So you should be having an easy time reaching to the median point. So in ASO goals, we know that there's two main elements. It will be the visibility and the conversion. So visibility is how well you rank for certain keywords in the top positions. So the keyword ranking, this is the main factor for your visibility when we are talking about ASO. And the conversion. So the conversion is how well you're converting this visibility that you're getting. So users that seeing your as impressions more than 3 seconds on the App Store, how many of them actually will click on the get button and install, or in our case on the Play Store, how many people are clicking and converting. So let's talk about prioritizing KPIs. So focus on the loser or the loser metric. Okay, so why is that important? Let's look at this with the allegory of a soccer team or football team. So if we have somebody in our team that is performing way worse than the median average in the team, it will drive all the team down. So we want to focus on this loser metric. We want to find it, and we want to put all of our effort in this metric. So we will make an audit from the full store listing. We will look at the app title, icon, screenshots, subtitle, and so on, and compare it to the peers median, see what they're doing that might work better for them. So once again, just by focusing on the loser, you increase your chances for success drastically, because if you have a really good app that really offers value, and this is a key for success, you need to have an app that has a value for the users. So it will be much easier for you to just get to the median rate. And this can give you already results as soon as you will be starting optimizing this. So what are the loser metric, how you can find them? So there's a lot of ways how you can do it, okay? But let's start with the keywords. So let's say you choose 5 to 10 competitors, okay? And you're looking at their strategic keyword ranking. So strategic keyword, it's a list of 5 to 10 keywords that you know that you want to be ranked for. You probably know those keywords. This is the keywords that has the highest volume. Everybody is searching for those keywords. So those 5 to 10 keywords, you want to look at your 5 to 10 competitors, closest competitors, not the best in the market, but the closest to your current situation, and see how well they are performing. What are their average ranking for this keyword that you want to target? So if you're seeing that you're way below in the ranking that most of your competitors, so this is your loser metric, okay? You need to work on your rankings. So this means just focusing on your text metadata optimization, focusing on your keywords, and improving your ranking for those keywords with just the metadata updates and pushing it there in this direction. Another loser metric that we can have, for example, it's the conversion rate. Okay, so on Play Console, we just can go to the store analytics and see the peers median conversion rate and see if they're performing better or worse for this conversion rate for the search or explore channel traffic, the channel that we are focusing on. So just can easily look if you're below the peers median. There is no reason for you to be below the peers median, once again, if you have a good app. So you just need to audit your listing and start focusing on the creatives, on the visual assets of your store listing, because those are the elements that drive the conversion. So this is the two examples of loser metrics that you can be using. And also it's very important to choose the battles that you can win. What do I mean by this? Okay, so we know that most of the projects, companies, agencies, however you call them, will be focusing on high volume. Okay, we're always hearing people talking about high volume keywords, and this is all they care about. But it's just not the way to go in 2022 to start focusing just on high volume keywords and hoping that you will get to the top positions and somehow will give you results. So you can get ranked probably in the top 100, maybe even top 50, let's say even top 30. But this will not drive any installs because users are not scrolling that low. We want to be in the top 5. So we want to choose the keywords that we can get them in the top 5. This is our goal. We don't want just to improve rankings. We want to drive results, remember? So driving results we can get with the battles that we can win, with the keywords that we can get to top 5, top 3, and so on. So we will focus on highly relevant keywords. So it will be long tail, high relevancy keywords, not high volume, high relevancy. So all the keywords that they might even show on AppTweak or other ASO tools that you're using that the volume is 5 or very low, don't be afraid of this. If it's relevant, you want this keyword to be ranked. And the logic here is that it will be much easier for you to get this keyword ranked because, to be honest, nobody wants this keyword. Yeah, everybody's looking, this keyword is so low volume, but so it will be very easy for you in most chances get high ranking for this keyword. And by doing so, you're improving your total KPIs. So your conversion rate will be higher because you will get more keywords in the top 5. So that means your conversion is high for them, relatively high, because you're converting quite well. And this will improve your total conversion rate. This will give you more keywords in the top 10. And this will result in more visibility. And something that we are seeing is, for example, we can target, like, let's say we have a game that we want to improve it. So let's say we will, and it's a Christmas game, and we will be focusing on a lot of Christmas related keywords, not the Christmas games, the highest volume main keyword that we want to be targeting, but we will be targeting a lot of keywords that are related to Christmas, but maybe having low volume, but still we just want as many of those keywords with Christmas long tail keywords, because in the end of the day, if you're going to have a lot of those keywords in the top 10, the high volume Christmas singular will also increase, and Christmas games will also increase its ranking. So this is something that we are seeing from experience and with different case studies we are doing. So just by focusing on high relevant, low volume keywords that include the high volume keywords that you want to target, you can improve your ranking for this keyword. And just an easy way, an easy tip to increase your ASO competitiveness is just focusing on long tail keywords. So if your long tail keyword consists from 3-4 keywords, you're also increasing your competitiveness because you just go into a playing field where there's much lesser players. So just playing against less competitors than if you will have only a short tail keyword that has a high volume and everybody wants to target it. So your competitiveness is dropping. So our goal is just have long tail keywords, high relevant, and this is a simple way to improve your competitiveness. So ASO for success. Okay, let's talk about the ASO growth loop. Let's say you identified your winner loser metric, you improved it. So what's about the long-term growth? What are you doing? So something that very much helping us at Yodel Mobile It's also one of the unique ways that we developed, such as the loser metric and the ASO growth loop. So first, do research. Okay, when we're talking about this, don't go to AppVic or ASO tools. This is before that. You just going to Google, going to Google Trends, going to YouTube, going to all available platforms, Reddit, whatever is relevant for this app that you are working on. So put your user hat on and try to understand what our users are looking for, why they are interested in the top players, what are the top players doing that is working for them, and what are the search terms that the users are actually using to find the app that they're looking for. So this is something that you can do without using any ASO tools, just to look at auto suggestions or predictions and see what the algorithm saved there. That means that a lot of people are clicking on it. That's why you have this prediction or these suggestions. So just already starting to get those ideas into your mind. Then we will go to audit. So the audit, we will just go to your analytics backend. We will look at the trash rate, even if it's above, below bad behavior threshold, because if you will go to 100 vitals, you will see that if your app is performing in the crash rate above the bad behavior threshold, Google just gives you a warning that your visibility will be impacted by this KPI. So no matter how good your ASO will be, if your crash rate is high, this can be the reason why it's not working. So you should be focusing on that with your product team. We will be looking at the conversion rates. We will be looking at the store listing elements, the keywords ranking, and every information that we can get from the competitors and for the projects that we are optimizing for. Then we will set the goals. Okay, so we will find the winner metrics, the loser metrics, what we should be focusing on now, what we will be focusing later, and how we like to do it. Each cycle of this growth loop will be focusing on one element, on one KPI that we want to improve. So then we're starting to implement. Is this a metadata optimization that we want to highlight certain keyword? Is this a new icon that we want to improve a conversion rate from impression to install, or is this a new promo video? Whatever we decided from the previous steps, we start working on it right now. And experimentation. So experimentation is, as probably all of you know and aware, this is a very great tool that offers us a great insight that we couldn't get anywhere else. We really have the ability to test with our organic user base and what they like in our app, what actually converts, what makes an impact, what they care about. So this is the platform that Google Play offers to you. And the App Store should include this in very soon, as we're hearing all the time. So experimentation, if only one tip I could give about this, be brave. Try to test and experiment with your visual assets, different colors, see what really works for your users, because always remember the app or the game is there for the users and not for you, for you to like the visual assets. You need to make sure that it's actually working for the users. So test different colors, test different approaches until you find the thing that you know that is working for your users, and you can just do it by focusing on the learnings in the experiments, and then you will already start developing a gut feeling and understanding what actually is working for your users. And then in the final step, we will go to evaluation. Okay, so we will report on everything that has happened, our findings, we will document it, document the implementation that we did, and basically we'll go to the stage one and just do the growth loop once again with the second time or the third or any time that we will be doing this. Each time we'll be focusing on other KPI that we want to improve and other element that we want to improve. So the next step, we will be talking about iOS opportunities. So how you can take an advantage with your ASO approaches, how you can gain a little bit more of a competitive edge on the competitors and others. So First, we know about in-app events. They are already introduced. So this is a great way to first improve and increase your visibility, because in-app events, they have a metadata. So the title and the description is getting indexed, 30 characters for both of them. And we also know from experiments that we are doing right now that the metadata from your main store listing will be mixed with the metadata from in-app events. So let's say you have much free in your main store listing in the title, and you have games in your in-app events, just an example. So you will be ranked for much free games. So this is a very great feature for us to gain extra ASO visibility. So just use this, and it also can get you on the home tab on the app stores. This tab here, everybody wants to be here. So just make sure that you're utilizing this feature properly and testing with it. Also, we have promotional in-app purchases. So this is a great way to increase revenue. Actually, what most of us and most of the clients care about the most, so the revenue. And here we also can use extra ASO features. So also we have a title here, a description that is also getting indexed. They appear in the search results. They appear on the app listing itself. So, and it's also what's very great here, you're pushing your competitors down. You're just getting more real estate. So how it will look, let's say you rank for certain keywords in the first place. So now, instead of in the second place seeing the competitors, the users will see your promotional in-app purchase. So the competitor will move even lower in the search results, and this will increase your conversion rate and once again move the competitors out of the way. So this is a very great feature to use and utilize for your ASO efforts in 2022. And Apple A/B testing. So we heard and we waited, and finally it's coming. It should be there very soon. We should be all be getting this feature, and we'll be able to test on Apple. So for what we know right now, it should be a much more advanced platform than what Google offers. So we're gonna have more KPIs that we can track, and we can get impressions, product page views, and installs. So we can test different aspects and different elements, how they impact those KPIs. We can test with the icons, screenshots, app review videos. So this is all great, all very good news for us to start and getting this advantage on the App Store as well, and getting those learnings. So of course, once it's go live, utilize it, use it to improve your conversion rate and to gain better understanding of what your users likes and what your users care about. And here we just have some case studies to share with you. So here we can see that we got an app in a short period of time. Long tail keywords that include racing games. Also, we can say that much free games, we got ranked #1. Everybody who worked for games and hyper casual can imagine how great achievement it is and how happy our clients was. Yeah, much free games, we got ranked to top 1. We can see that it's fluctuating, but we just got to the top 1 relatively easily right away with our ASO secrets that I shared with you guys. Some of them. And also we got ranked for Christmas games, #1. Okay, so also very high volume competitive keywords, and we managed to do all of this with the strategy I was sharing with you guys earlier. is steadily growing until it reaching 10,000 per day and even more. And we also can see here a very important example that we wanted to share with you. So something that we're starting to see rather frequently, that when we're starting to get an uplift in installs, in impressions, we're also starting to see uplift in crashes. So a lot of times the clients comes to us, ask for growth, we are giving them the growth, but we are noticing that the bandwidth and the infrastructure of the app is not good enough to actually handle all this growth. So guys, work with your product team, keep a close eye on the crash rates. It's very important. Make sure that your app has enough bandwidth or power to handle the growth and the more user base. So you can see that all the metrics going up, the crashes is also going up. So we don't want this. So always keep an eye on the crashes. So final thoughts to summarize. Analyze your KPIs constantly to find and improve your weaker link. This approach will allow you to get results within a short period of time. Once again, the logic here is simple. It's much easier to get to the median rate than improving it beyond the median rate. So if you have a KPI that is below median and all your competitors are performing better than you, but you're not seeing any advantage the app actually has in terms of value, there is no reason for you to be below the median. So it will be relatively low challenge for you to get high impact. Low effort, high impact, this is what we're all about. Choose keywords based on their relevance. Don't chase after volume. Volume comes with relevance. So as you've seen with the example, Christmas games, match-free games, all ranked in top positions with us just focusing on high relevant keywords and not really like, okay, let's just target match-free games. It's not going to work. And of course, use and test all available features. If Apple has it, test it. They thought about it, the developers did this, their brainstorm team thought about this feature. So it's there for you to use. It's there for you to gain advantage over the competition. Don't forget all those new features. There will always be new features. You need to be dynamic. You need to know how those features work in order for you to be competitive. And yeah, any questions?
There we go. Hi, thanks, Igor. Maybe someone from the team can drop Igor's email in the chat there. Sorry, we had a couple of your connection froze a couple of times, Igor. I don't know if you've got Dropbox or Slack open. Maybe just shut that down now, so we don't get any issues during the Q&A. So, okay, we've got a bit of time for questions, which is good. So I'm going to kick off. If you've got questions, please leave them in the questions tab. And this is a great chance to have the ASO lead at the ASO Agency of the Year answer all your questions. So yeah, drop them in the questions tab. Let's kick off with a question from Natalie Mandrico. She is a growth product manager at Weatherbug, which just might happen to be a weather app, I'm guessing. But I know it's a weather app because we've had them here before in the past. Her question is, what long tail keyword examples for Christmas? What are the long tail keyword examples for Christmas in the example you provided? Can you talk more about that?
So I cannot say the exact keywords, but for example, it can be Christmas games online, Christmas games, traditional, match-free Christmas games, this type of things. So we want for the long tail the keyword to be as long as possible. So everything that you can add to the Christmas game, this is what you should be focusing on. How you can find those keywords, it's very easy. You can use just auto-suggested tool and just type their Christmas games, and it's going to give you all the suggestions that you might be using for your Christmas games. But everything that is relevant and have more than 2 keywords in their long tail will work for you.
Got it. And that's an example of jumping on sort of seasonality, seasonal trends. I guess there's others in e-commerce. Is that something you're seeing more of now?
Yeah, of course. We have specifically big retail brands at Yodel, and Seasonality is working great. Black Friday, Christmas, Halloween, even. We had some great results with just optimizing our metadata, and the visual and the text metadata towards seasonality drives amazing results, and everybody should be doing it.
Great. So another question from Natalie. Do you have in-app events on both the stores, Google Play as well, or is it just Apple?
Currently, just the App Store. Yeah, in-app events that we can optimize.
And a follow-up question from me on that. You were talking about the in-app event promotions, and you had the example from Joe Wicks. And, I can the Joe Wicks app, and I can, see he's probably great at doing live events and that kind of thing. But what can this work for all apps, or is it mainly for specific types of apps where it's going to work, or do you think pretty much anyone can use that?
Yeah, so it's a new feature, and you should use your imagination, to be honest, and try to see what type of event you can be using. So we even had a sales event with our retail clients, Black Friday sale. This was our event that we made, and it wasn't really any type of actual live event. It was just the sale season in the official stores. So just using your imagination and trying to find different events that you can be using. Don't afraid to test. Don't afraid to submit for review, and maximum you will get rejected, and Apple will explain why is the reason. Then you can adjust, but you can always find an in-app event that you can use, even for banking apps, even for e-commerce apps, even for games. Of course, it's easy, but there's always something you can do. The most basic thing, let's talk about like big update. You added the new features. This can be an event that you can be using, highlighting this new feature that you did.
Great. Okay, that sounds like another good tool for people to use. So Guillem Ross is the CEO of Heavy, and he's asking, if you don't have enough download velocity or review velocity, how do you break through into the top 10 for keyword rankings?
Okay, so this is a great question. So first, if you're in this situation where you don't have much keywords, don't have much conversion rate, so that just means for you that you should be focusing only on high relevant, low volume keywords. And low volume here is the key, because you will just not be able to get ranked with those KPIs for the high volume keywords. So this is specifically where it will be very helpful for you. Just find the low volume keywords that you can actually drive installs with them and build your product from there, from the bottom, because it's the same like going to the gym on the first day and expecting to lift some huge heavy weights. It's not going to happen. You're going to harm yourself, and it's doesn't going to give you any value. So you need to start slow. And this is exactly like with the weights. Think about the weight as a volume. So just choose the low volumes where you can build them. Then you will start from 5 volume, let's say. I'm talking about the Aptitude metrics. Then you can target more than 10 volume, then more than 15, so on. Grow gradually. Don't start high, start small, and then you will see more metrics coming in. You will be able to measure your installs velocity. You will be able to measure your conversion rate, and so on.
Got it. Okay, and Matan, who is working at Plarium, which is a games company, and he had a question. He thought he saw a screenshot from Ahrefs, the SEO tool, in your presentation. So is that the case? And he's asking, does that give app stats, or were you using something else?
I think it's a mistake. Yeah, we didn't use any SEO tools for this presentation.
Okay. Do you know where the data would have come from, or?
Did he clarify on which page this screenshot was?
Okay, yeah, Matan, if you're still around, let us know which page. On that point, Bente, who is a co-founder at NoteBlock app, and she says it's really interesting presentation. Thank you. We had a couple of freezes, only short ones. She lost some audio on the slide. Immediate impact. Identify your ASO strategy. So she's asking if you can just refresh what you were saying there.
Yeah, sure. So how to get an immediate impact in 3 short points. Analyze your KPIs to find the loser metric. So the metric that is performing worse than the competitors or worse than your own benchmarks. You can find benchmarks online for everything, for conversion rates, trial starts. So just Google it, you will find it. Find once again, the KPI that is performing the worst, the highest from the median point, and put all of your efforts to this KPI. So if this is a conversion rate, for example, start working on your creative, start testing your screenshots, your feature graphics to improve the conversion rate, and be brave. Try to test a lot of different things. And these numbers that Google provides are very accurate, and they can give you a great insight of what your user likes. So just to summarize, find the weakest performing KPIs and focus on this.
Great. Okay. Thank you. And I suppose final question, you've worked in SEO for a while now, and we're seeing quite a lot of evolution. Where do you think we are in terms of the organic app store marketing? Is it matured now, or is it entering a new phase where we've got some new tools to play with, some new things? How do you see the state of the industry?
So to be honest, I think we are just starting out. It's very early for the industry, and we don't have still the maturity that, for example, the SEO field has. So we are working closely with also SEO experts for certain things and certain approaches that we are testing. And what we can see in their field, there are much more tools available, much bigger knowledge base. So here it's just really free for all right now, and you need to test different approaches, different strategies until you will find something that works. For me, I feel like in the upcoming years, the focus on those extra features that Apple and Google will be introducing is the key to keep an advantage over the competition, because really using those features, they can give you unimaginably good results. I'm really talking like here from experience. Just using promotional in-app purchases can skyrocket your revenue like 3-4 times, something that we've seen. So just using those features is very important. And sometimes you're using some feature and you see this doesn't work, this doesn't drive any impact. Okay, cool, at least you tried and this is something that doesn't drive impact for your app. But you need to know this, you need to have the data, and everything should be data oriented. It's one thing to make an estimation based on data, and another thing just to make a guess. So never guess, never say this is gonna work, this is not gonna work. Test. Everything can be tested, then you will see if it's actually the case or not. Because a lot of things, what I learned through the years, never trust your gut feeling if you don't have any data to base on this. Because sometimes we test, for example, icon. You're looking at the icon and you will say this icon is the worst icon ever, no way it's gonna outperform the current icon, and you making a test and then it just performs much better. And you just need to test, and then after seeing the numbers, you can apply your logic and see why it's actually working. Try to realize this, try to reverse engineer, and just apply the logic to everything you're doing.
Great. Well, thanks, Igor. So I guess we can keep up to date with you. You've dropped your email there. You've got a great blog over at Yodel Mobile, and we'll hear more from you then. Michael Caffey, who's works at Tier, which is one of the scooter companies, app-based scooters. I think I tried that out in Berlin. It was very good. He's saying iOS 15 is going to be huge.
Yes.
So we'll all look forward to that. Well, thanks again, Igor.
Thank you, James.